to another episode of Our Opinion, where we're all about positive vibes, unity, and uplifting others. My name is Tamika.
I'm Rosalind.
And I'm Kim.
And today we have two special guests in the building. We have Mr. Michael Anderson and we have Mr. William Clem. Thank you so much for blessing us with your male perspectives today. So before we get started, I would like to open the floor up. I'll start with you, Michael, and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Michael Anderson. Wrote 2 books. One is my life story. It's called Natural Born Survivor. Did really well, 5 stars, selling around the world right now.
Yes.
Great reviews.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to get it made into a movie at this point.
I want to be in that movie,
people.
mind you that.
Oh yeah. Talking to some people in the line, it might fall through. But the second book is a relationship book, which is just a guide. It's just a his and her relationship book from a male to female perspective. I wanted to write it based on the 89% rate, failure rate that we have going on in relationships today.
Yeah.
And the relationships are only lasting 6 months, and that's an old relationship because the millennials set that pace. Now that millennials have taken over everything, because everything going in generations.
Yeah.
Now the millennials, to them a relationship is old if it's 6 months old. So now the pace is 6 months.
Which is
Oh,
so
wow.
sad.
For a relationship is very sad, and we have an 89% failure rate on relationships. So I wanted to write a little bit about it and just give people a little flip side of relationships.
Yeah.
Just flip it a little bit.
Yeah.
If you did this in a relationship and you've been doing this for 20 years, well, what if you tweak it a little bit?
Yeah.
Or you just turn the dial a little bit.
Make a difference.
And add a little bit more to what you're doing, or take some of it away.
Yeah.
Maybe you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, that's right. So, that's my
That's your story?
that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Oh, there you
All
go. That's what I like.
Get it.
All right. Now,
And hi, I want to thank the ladies for having me. William Clem, as I go by Butch. I at work, people know me by William. Friends know me as Butch. It's a long story. I was a career manager, store manager, all over the place for about 30 years. Right out of college, I have 4 adult children. They're 20s, ranging from 21 to 27. This amazing family. I was married for 20 years. Been divorced for about 7 now.
Wow.
It's been that long.
Yeah.
Retired from retail, and now I am a maintenance manager completely for careers. It's actually the happiest moment of my life.
Wow.
I didn't realize how unsatisfied I was managing retail for so many years, but it raised my family. We lived well. My kids are doing very well, and work on a college campus now, flipping a lot of dorms for students and managing
Wow.
about 5 different properties. So it's just very rewarding, and gives you great kind of exposure to the college industry, students, professionals, because we're right on a medical right near Cleveland Clinic, Case Western campus. So it's just it's just wonderful. So again, thank you for having me. It's just
You're welcome.
really
Thank
excited to
you
meet
so
you
much
guys.
for coming.
Gentlemen here, ready to go.
well, all right. Let's do this then. So basically today we're going to talk about how one transitions in life. And we know that could be a very, very broad topic, but we're going to try to narrow it down a little bit as much as we can. So with that being said, we can kind of talk about basically how one is married. I think all of us have been married at one point.
Yes.
So we could talk about how one is married and now divorced. How do you transition from being married to now being divorced today? Also, how do you transition into dating today? Or how does one transition when you have, whether you're in a 2-parent household or a single-parent household, but you have children. And your life is your child. That's my setup. My daughter run my whole entire life, whether it's sports, whatever she's doing. It's like I don't even have a life. And if somebody can even give me feedback on that, because I know that's something that that's going to be a transition in my life. I'm not all the way there yet, but I will be there in like 4 years.
Which is gonna go by like that.
And so when that happens, it's like, you know, what do you do? Like, you know, where are you left? Because that's all you're used to. And then we can even talk about as well with spouses, the same kind of scenario, but when you're married and you have a spouse that have a goal in life, and as the other, you know, spouse, you aid that husband or that wife to help them achieve their goals in life. And once those goals are achieved, they're good. But now you're left kind of like, well, now what is it left for me to do? Because you've kind of lost yourself a little bit during that process. So, and anything else that we can think about, you know, this is open floor, but that's just to give us a little start off. So I'll open it up with Kim.
Okay. Well, my situation is just that. You know, my husband had goals and dreams that he wanted to achieve. I personally have always been, you know, employed, and I've always had good employment. So, I mean, I was really able to sustain myself, but never really fulfilled in what it was that I was doing. I met him. I knew he had objectives. I knew he had goals, and I just knew that that kind of fulfilled what I was missing in my own personal career. So with that being said, you know, I pretty much gave my time, my support, my everything to making sure that his goal was achieved, and I knew that he was satisfied and happy. But now it's come to a point in our lives where he's okay. He knows where he's going. He knows what he's doing. I can add input here and there. And granted, I am a very big part of what it is that he's doing. But still, I still always have loved to have my own. And my own objectives, my own things. So now it's time for me to transition into that. But you had mentioned earlier, because I am going to address it, that, you know, what stopped me from doing that. And at the time when I was going through this with him, and what stopped me was that, like I said, I had a job. I had a good paying position to where I technically really didn't need to go and look for other things. I mean, I tried going to college and all that stuff, but school was never for me. It just wasn't. And I really wasn't sure of where I wanted to go. I think because I made sufficient money, I felt like I really didn't need to, you know, go and look for other things. But now that I'm, you know, in a position where I can, now it's time to make the transition. And so it's still a little difficult because for me, honestly, I know that now I have to kind of separate myself from what it is that what we're doing together to kind of find myself. Because that's important. I mean, once you get to be a certain age, you really need to know exactly who you are, where you want to go, where you want to be. And if you've given your all to someone else, and because I've been married to my husband now for 13 years, you know, before him, I was married before. So this is my second marriage. So with that being said, in the first marriage, it was kind of the same way, but I was just so much younger then. So it was more of a, you know, I'm married, I was living in California, I was really doing that whole party thing. I really wasn't thinking about career, life, all that stuff. Now it's here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
where do we go from here when you're in that situation? Where do you go when you are a wife and you've had children and you've supported your husband? And some women have never had jobs.
Never.
They've always been housewives. And now, maybe through death or through divorce or whatever the situation may be, now they're left
And
to
trying
figure out
what to
where
do.
they're going. And on top of that, they're trying to date in this same scenario. So, with that being said, I'll let somebody else take it over.
Who want to go?
I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking about, you said where do they go, and I really think that for a moment, when I come out of divorce, I go through that situation. But at least for me, very quickly, I realized that when you ask yourself that, where do you want to go? I think it first requires that you believe that you had a big loss or a big miss, because I just kind of settled in the moment, and I started really focusing on the difference from a good time versus being happy. And I realized the thing that made me happy, because if the pursuit of another relationship was it, and I really struggled with that, thinking that another relationship was the key to my being happy, and I floated away from that, and I actually got happier as a result, thinking that, hey, a relationship happens, it happens, but it's that right away meet people, what kind of history do they have? I've been with this partner for so long, it was kind of safe physically. It's actually how do you start experimenting out there, and I just settled into work, getting money together a little bit, and my family was expanding. I have a massive family network, and it's funny because it almost seemed to coincide with the divorce that the family get-togethers and situations with the kids also elevated. So I found that once I was alone, I thought it would just be a long tunnel of dark, lonely times. I found that I was busier than I've ever been. Just, I mean, literally telling people, I'm just so busy, I don't have time for that. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
And so I kind of focused there and kept working. And maybe it's because having been a manager so long, you really have to sit there and go, to people all day long. As a manager, you listen to their stories in their life, you really become a good listener, and then you realize everybody's situation is so different. So you're like, and I know when Roz will say tell her thing, it might be completely different from your thing.
Right.
Not right or wrong, just different.
Right, for
And
sure.
whether or not Roz feels like you, okay, it's my time to do this and that, I don't know until she speaks. But
Well,
for me, I stopped talking to her friends like you and saying so much, well, why aren't you happy with if that's your thing and that's what you're working toward to make you happy, then I think that's right. And so maybe I'm less judgmental overall, less critical of everyone's situation, because I've been around long enough, and everyone's so different.
Yeah.
That's a big piece to learn that you just said. That's the critical piece. They taught all of us how to be judges and critical, even though we try not to be.
Yeah.
It's just that our society taught us that way, and it make us misunderstand totally what's really going on. My situation with my ex-wife was, she did the same thing. I met her. I just got out of prison. Met her. I wasn't even thinking about a relationship. Met her. She started chasing me. She saw the glow in me. She started helping me build my business. I didn't even want to be bothered. I was so focused on building my business. And she won me over by helping me. Help me reach a certain level. Got to a certain level. It's time to get married. Oh, I want to marry you. Help me. She started saying things like, all I want to do is this. Can we do this? I don't really like doing that with you, but I'll go. But I would rather do this. And I thought she was crazy, because by her helping my drive and my ambition attached with hers, we were able to, I got to the level I was building and constructing and designing $1 million homes from the ground up with her help, our own company. And I'm like thinking, she is crazy as hell. We got it going on. We got everything. Everybody want our life. What the heck is wrong with her? And from losing her, re-examining the relationship, going back and looking at each step, I said, wow, she just wanted me to take her here. She just wanted that. She didn't want that dress. She wanted those shorts right there.
Right.
I bought her the dresses. I thought she looked better.
Right.
And I thought, I'm buying it, so what's wrong with you?
Okay.
You gotta
Yeah.
be crazy.
Right.
And I said, wow, all I had to do was listen to her.
Right.
And I learned from that point that everybody got to get something. It can't be about one person. It can't be one-sided.
Right.
So even if when she helped me achieve my goal, because it wasn't hers, it was mine.
Mm-hmm.
She had goals.
Mhm.
She had wants. She had desires. And I thought they were unimportant because we had reached such a high level with my goal.
Right.
And
Why do
she
you
should
even
be
want to
happy.
do that little
And
stuff?
she
Right.
should be happy.
Yeah, and I'm looking at her down like, you crazy. Why you want to do that little stuff?
Right.
It's what she wanted.
It's what she wanted.
So if people come together, everybody has to get what they want.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter how infantile it may seem, how little, how insignificant it may seem to the other person, if you're with someone, that's why God say the one, the two shall become one. And I heard you say words like separate, let me separate and go do. All that stuff has to be out of the relationship, especially when it's a marriage. It can't even come in. It can't come in where you even thinking that I'm helping him do something. No, this is our stuff.
Right.
It's always gonna be our stuff.
Right.
It ain't your stuff. I'm helping us do our thing.
Right.
Now, when we achieve this thing, then I want you to help us do our thing over here, because this is what I want to do. It has to be at all times, because I hear so many people always think that it's just about that man did this or the woman wanted to do that. It has to be a team. We have to be teammates.
Right.
And that's why God said you have to come together and be one solid unit. So a lot of stuff can't get in.
That's right. And
It's
that's the
separate.
key.
It's so easy to separate people when they think they separated already.
Yes. And the
It's
devil
very
come
simple.
in.
Yeah, very. Any little thing can separate you.
Yeah.
You're already thinking you separate and
I
apart
feel
from each other.
We start thinking about. I think that the one element's missing, and we treat it like a bad thing when we talk about sacrifice, and I agree to a point about each side getting what they want, but in order to do that, an appreciation for a certain level of sacrifice go into it, and I think that's something that a lot of times people say, I'm willing to do this, I'm willing to do that, and when they really get in there, they're like, whoa, wait a minute, giving up way too, and that's kind of, I think, coming back to the communication piece. If the man is focused on his wife and her being appreciated and truly trying to recognize what she needs, and she's doing the same with him, getting or providing him some of what he's looking for, enough that he feels appreciated and respected. In order for that to work, the level of sacrifice has to be balanced and right in both situations as well, or one won't happen without the other. And I think when you openly talk about that, and you openly, if you really know that going in and you talk about it, I think you're okay. It's when, the man wants to do this, the woman can't stand to do that, but she sacrifices and she does it anyway with him, and then the man's like, I'm not going down there. He won't, then she's like, well, I did it for you, you won't do it for me.
That's
You're back there,
that sounds
Yeah.
so
So I think
familiar.
It happens all the
The
time.
time.
All the time.
It happens
Yeah.
all the
and,
time.
and it starts that bridge, those walls start to come up, and the
Yeah.
frustration starts to come up.
Yeah.
And as I listen to you guys, and it's great being around a bunch of individuals in a similar situation with regard to relationships. And I'm quickly go back to when mine first started, and if I had a nickel for every time I said, if I can apply what I've learned now, how I feel now, into meeting someone, and it'd be awesome, and. So that's right to the
That's
subject we're
that thing
talking
called
about.
life.
It would just be,
That's that
we've
thing
all
called
learned
life.
so much,
Yeah.
and use on what your experiences with her, and think about was she truly crazy, or was it just?
No, I lost
you
I
know?
lost a great woman by missing just something small.
Yeah.
And so was it you're not recognizing what was right, what she needed, and being able to give it to her at that time. And I think we all have examples of stories to that where we thought, oh, I'm not married or I get married in a second tomorrow. I absolutely hope to get remarried and live out my days married. I think it's the way to go. But if you hear me talk and I'll say I don't even think about it, you might get the feeling that, or sense that I'm anti-marriage. Nothing could be further from the truth. I just don't. I believe it's such a complicated thing that it can't be steered or driven or say, like, and that's why I struggle with internet and all that stuff going in. I think you get so much mixed messages and just disingenuous I'm a natural kind of guy. I'd be like, let's just go get some coffee.
What
Let's sit down.
you're saying is absolutely, it has to be organic. And there's so many forced situations now. That's the problem. It has to be organic. And we
Absolutely.
stop looking for the organic love because of things like social media.
I like that word,
And-
organic love.
It has
I
to
like
be
that.
organic. It has to be.
It's kind of nice.
And remember, and I'm gonna take y'all all back when y'all had an organic love. High school. When you first met her. How did this feel? What was this doing right here?
He
was
had
going
very little
crazy.
to do with it. The heart that came into play was much lower. You said high school now.
Let me leave you alone. Let me jump to the women. So women, you're right. Men, we were still women when y'all first met.
That would be Rise.
Yes,
Go ahead,
because
tell your
actually,
story. Yeah.
it was much lower.
Much lower.
I had been with my first boyfriend since I was 14, and I married him when I was 17. So I can relate to what you're saying about the hurt. And I don't even know if that was love, because I don't even know what I was doing. But I will
But
say
you was doing it.
Yeah.
But it was organic, right?
it was very organic.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was.
It was very organic, and I ended up marrying him and having children by him and everything, but we ended up getting a divorce. But it was a shotgun wedding because I did have a child. I had a child, and then we got married. He was a good guy and everything, but we didn't know what we were doing. We were children playing house, I think. But sometimes it worked, and sometimes it don't. But with Tamika's Kim's situation, what you were saying about, living with someone and being married, and then, your husband has his dreams and aspirations and you follow them together. I even been there, with my second husband. He was a minister and I did all the things I was supposed to do, but I still had my career. But so I didn't put my career on the side. He was doing his thing, I was doing his thing, but we were still together.
Right.
But sometimes you can do things and it still don't work. It's still, you still kind of like separate because you want to help your mate and you need to help your mate. But you don't want to lose your identity either. Is that
Right.
selfish?
I don't think it's selfish
It's
at
not,
all.
because everybody has to have their
Own
identity.
identity.
You have to have your own identity, so that way you have your own. Just the ability to be able to say that I've accomplished my own things. And to your point in regards to like separation, I think when I say separation, I know that everything that we have done, we've done together. We came into this knowing that we were going to do this together. We lived in California, we decided one day that we were going to pack all our stuff up, and we was going to drive to Cleveland. And and this is what we were going to do. And on our way here, we had a conversation between the two of us where we said, you know what, we about to go to Cleveland and we about to show people how it's truly done.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how we're going to do it. And it's always been we. It's
Together.
always been we.
Togetherness.
And
Yes.
but in that very instance though, we always have had, like, I've always had my own identity too with that. So if that makes sense, I don't know, because like I said, I've always had my own money. I've always had my own everything, in addition to what I was able to bring to us.
But having
But
money is
it's
not
not
having
that-
your
yeah,
No, but not
identity.
money. Yeah,
Right.
but not money. But I'm just
Money-
saying with that. But
Because it's about your dream.
Yeah,
Right.
We're
because-
talking about you aided him, you helped him because this was his dream.
Right.
So he has it. So I personally believe a lot of times, like this has been asked to me, and I've asked this to other people. Like, do you truly know what your purpose is? Remember when we went to the movies that one time?
Yes.
Right.
And I asked that question.
Yes.
And I really asked it because I truly didn't No.
But what if I break it down a little further?
What
And that's my thing, is what my
what
individual
your
purpose is.
purpose is in life.
Right.
Oh, I know. I think it's an easy question. My purpose, personal purpose,
Yeah.
I treat it simply like an animal. So my purpose was to meet her and have those 4 kids and raise them to adults successfully. Now,
Is that
personally,
your purpose because it happened, or you
Well,
knew that it was going to be like her?
let's say I'm a male, she's a female. I'm here to to produce children and then raise and develop those children. To me, that's a very successful. I mean, my purpose is not to get a yacht, not to get a mansion. It's to developing and raising a mature, successful. I look at my young 27-year-old twins, and I'm flooded with feelings of joy, happiness, success. My purpose has been fulfilled, pretty much. Now,
But
personally,
before that, Butchie, before that, did you know what your purpose is? Like we all know now. I can say the same thing. My daughter, I'm a good mom. I'm a single mom. My purpose is to making sure I groom her to be a nice young lady. Did I know that my situation was going to be that I'm divorced now? It didn't start out that way. To having a daughter,
Right.
being by myself, that wasn't the plan. I was married first. Then my daughter came. But as a result, my ending result is now I'm the single mom raising this now 14-year-old girl. And so, yes, my purpose right now is to make sure that I raise her to the best of my ability. I have no training, don't no book come with being a parent. You know, so it's like I don't have any other children to be like, oh, okay, I did it this way with this one, so I could do it this way with this one.
Well,
So like, so how did you
Yeah, that's
know
not
that that
perfect.
was your purpose? That's what you know now because you're on the back end of it.
I don't think it's so much. Maybe it's just the purpose is what we're saying, because what you're here for is different for every person. I know people that have no kids that are in their 60s and happier beyond they can imagine.
So your
Because-
purpose
Do they know
because-
their purpose?
Well,
Yeah.
well, what I'm saying is, who defines what you're here for other than you? It's individual choices and desires and
Correct,
dreams.
correct.
So that establishes what your purpose is, and it's defined by you.
Agree,
So
but so
when I
many
say
people
my
don't
purpose
know
was
it.
to raise those children, I've defined what I'm here for. And early on, I wanted to have kids. Even when, before high school, before college, I just loved family, and I knew I wanted to raise
So then
children.
for
at some
you, then
point.
that would
So
be your purpose.
And if Ross says, I want to run a major sports team or whatever, her, and that's her drive her entire life, then who am I or somebody else to say to her, that's. So I think it's very individual, and there is no.
That's true. That's true. That's
For
not
me,
the debate.
so I can't imagine a more rewarding feeling like than when I was explaining my family and my kids.
Yeah.
That totally and completely satisfies me. Having a healthy relationship now because the question that we had a moment ago was kind of after that point. So when now the kids and that family's gone. So having invested so much energy and focus in that, now where do you sit? And this that awkward limbo
Yeah,
that we're
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
That's
about.
what we talking
That's what we're talking about,
because
the awkward
Tamika-
limbo.
yeah, because-
What do you think?
Well,
Well, no,
Tamika,
Oh, sorry, Ron.
like Tamika was saying, everything that she's doing, her job was to raise, her baby, and she's a single parent now, and she was married and divorced and all that. I've been there where Tamika is,
Right.
and now all my children are grown. You're still at home, so your purpose right now is to get your baby together and make sure that she's sufficient and you get her
life.
ready for the real world.
Correct.
I did that. All my children are grown, so now I'm at a stage in my life where I'm single, I'm divorced, I'm single, I have a career, I am happy, I'm a God-fearing woman, but okay, now what? Now what? So am I asking are you asking what my purpose is coming from God? What is the purpose that God want me or
Right.
to have? Or what is my purpose is as far as me being happy? Because I'm happy right now, but I don't still know if I'm fulfilling my purpose.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And at this point, I've asked that question to so many people, and even myself. And I do understand what you're saying. It's not that I don't, but so many people, believe it or not, will say to you that they don't know
So
what
what
their
if I
purpose is.
broke it down a little further than that?
Break it down.
So I ask
Michael.
people, what makes you happy? What makes you sad?
Mhm.
Most people don't even know what makes them happy. You talking about a purpose, that's even higher.
That's true.
So this is the issue that I'm seeing now in today's society. Everybody's single. Even people in relationships are single.
You better preach.
So
You
with-
better
with-
say
with- with a single-minded, selfish society, then
What do you have?
yeah, what do you have?
What do you have?
So, but not only that, if I distract you with that, then you will spend your time raising your kids and thinking that that's all you're supposed to do.
But it's not.
It's not, but that's
So,
what we think.
and, so then, guess what? When they are raised,
What?
yeah, because this is what I hear a lot, and women do it more than men, because women raise more of the kids.
Mhm.
Women say, well, I don't have time. I'm raising my kids. I might be going to school. I might be going to work.
Oh yeah, now
Okay.
I just
So-
said all of those.
Yeah, I hear it 90% of the time.
I
But
said every
then,
last one.
what happens when they go to college?
Exactly.
Then what you do?
And now you in this society where you trying to find that.
Why did you wait that long? No, but think
Right,
about what I'm saying.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
reach on. Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Why did you think that was all you could do? You should have been preparing for
Yeah,
when they leave.
Right.
yeah.
What was your life was supposed to be when they left? Yeah, you're doing a
Exactly.
great job, and I congratulate you, man, because a lot of fathers don't do what you've done.
That's
Black
right.
men too.
That's right.
But the enemy has tricked us to get us to think that I'm going to pour all this stuff into these kids, and I'm doing the right thing, which we are,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not your whole entire life. Your life looks like a whole picture, not half a picture. It's just a half a picture of your life. You have to have another half of your life. You know what I mean?
And that's so true. And I think that's it's, established by the individual. And I said both things. And when you talk about the focus, you nailed it. Talk about the two halves of your life. And very early on, when the kids are gone, and my wife, my ex-wife, that empty nest. I mean, because you talk about devotion to the family. And that was one of our. She just as
that's all I wanted
passionate.
to ask you.
as she-
Did it happen after they left? Y'all break up? Or before?
Well, toward the
end?
end, we kind of.
That's what I was saying.
Right at the, we had two away at college,
Did
two
she
still
start
home.
panicking?
I'm sorry?
Did she start panicking?
Say that one more time?
Did she
She
start
started
panicking.
panic?
Did she
after
start to panic?
She realized
Yes.
that kids were gone and her purpose was
There were, you're going to open up, there's a lot of, and it goes way beyond.
I'm sorry.
There wasn't a direct connection to the kids, which you're saying.
Right.
But I was so focused and so driven on that family, and I instantly went through that. And it was really, then I realized
Wait a
that the way
minute,
that my
are you saying
mind
you're the one that
is.
panicked?
I'm sorry?
Are you saying you're the one that panicked?
Did you panic
At the end?
at the end?
It sounded like you just said that. I want to make sure.
Say that one more time, ask me one more time.
Are you the one that panicked at the end? Not her.
No, it was.
Does it sound like that's what you just said?
I think it was more her, but I go back to I'll recognize my faults and hers,
Okay.
and so I'm just going to say that one thing that I really don't do a lot of, and it doesn't help anything. I just concede that, in fact, even when I'm with her or other people, and you want to analyze who was more wrong, I say, listen, we're way past it at this point, because it goes back to what I was saying about being happy and why the second half of my life. Remember earlier when we started talking, I said I'm happier now than I've ever been. So I've crossed over that void,
Okay.
and I'm actually. The kids are fantastic, but I'm actually at a very happy point in my, and I think it's just because defining my purpose, what I'm to do now, I define it. I find I have interests and desires, and I read, and and I study, and there's things that I want to do.
So
I
are you
vacation
dating?
now more than I ever have my entire life. If I want to go, I just go, and being able to do that, and just truly enjoy it and have a nice time, it's just has fulfilled me. And my kids are still, I don't know, we all have young
Butch,
adults.
are you dating? You saying all of this, and you saying I've
dated,
This
yes and
segment
no.
is
Right,
about
currently, no.
relationships too.
Dating has been a little bit of a struggle, simply because it's usually because the person that I meet, you meet women at this point, and you don't meet, I don't know. You meet women at this point, like I said, Ross, hey, let's go to lunch, we're talking. And 5 minutes into the lunch, she's plotting out our future, and she's way into it.
I'm on the opposite. I'm on the flip side.
Does
of
it happen
that.
to you?
I kid you not. I'm on the flip side of that. I can go, and I always tell people if they ask me out on a date or to go to have coffee or something, I'd be like, I'm busy. Busy is the new happy for me. But if I do decide to go, I think they think, and I had to ask my daughter this because I've been, and I say shelter only because I've been married for 30 years, counting my first and my last marriage. So I really didn't really have a chance to date. I've never really dated, if you really think about it, because I've been married all my life from 17 and then 9 years there, so I've been married all my life. So I really didn't have a chance to date. So my thing is, it seems like when they meet me and they get to know me, they be like, oh my God, first thing they say, because it's visual with men, she's beautiful, she has a career, she's God-fearing, she got her stuff together, clean. No, I just want to have coffee. I just want to have coffee. I don't want to get married. I don't want to say I'm trying to find myself, but right now I'm trying
That's
to
what you're trying to do. You're trying to find yourself. You've been married for 30
And
years.
that's what I'm talking about, the same thing. You trying to
But
find
it goes back to what I was saying, that in 30 years, the whole time, she never realized that I need to always do more. Like you said,
Right.
like you said before,
Right.
it's okay if I go do this with my girls, or I got this thing that I'm doing, and it just keeps you in the ability to know that when something goes wrong over here, you can still move on.
Right.
So I see a lot of people get trapped, as well as I did. When a relationship is over, they think the whole world is over, or they don't believe that they can reinvent themselves. I reinvented myself 4 times now.
Right.
That's good.
And the problem with the long-term relationships is that I interviewed so many women is 23, 25, 30, 34, 40 years in a relationship, and they are so removed from the reality of what's going on in the world today when it comes to.
And that's what you tell me.
I don't even know.
I have no idea what's
I
going
have
on.
to literally go to my children and ask
That's
them
definitely
questions.
the wrong move.
It is.
I'm
like,
gonna tell you why. 'Cause they millennials.
I don't know who else to go to.
That's like he said. They more social media. So your world and their world is.
But you
Yeah,
see
you're
what I'm
right.
doing? But do you see what I'm doing?
So-
What Butch is doing? I'm still dependent on my children, even after they're grown.
Exactly.
We still dependent on our children. We should not be doing that, Butch.
Look.
Well,
But let Roz go down
dependent,
by
I wouldn't go quite that far. I actually,
Even brought you in.
I actually, I don't, my ex, but I distinguish my kids away, and that's why I appreciate when we come together so much.
Yeah, he
If I
does.
call for dinner, every kid shows up when they call, and that's kind of how it is. I don't jam myself in their lives. I want and matter. And I bet you if you had to a child, they would say, "Oh yeah, my dad. I'm not that guy at all." I really believe that the experiences that they're going to have growing up and experiencing things is healthy. And when they get in a jam, when they need something, they
call.
I'm one of the first calls they make. I'm right there, or they're I do repairs and work on homes, and my kids are buying houses now, and it's a very healthy relationship now. It's just changed to a more adult relationship. What Roz was saying struck right to the point also, because that career aspect, and that's one of the things that at this point is, I think, the most difficult, is at our age, most of us are so established with what we want, what we like, we got our own stuff, our own money. So you're now meeting women now. Now I would never approach, a woman. What can you do? Can you pick me up? Can you, when I see women of middle age and they're picking the guy, and I'm like, well, he's not driving or he's not doing, but for the most part, you come to this point, to stage, you both were pretty established. So when let's say I would meet someone like Roz, I wouldn't expect her to give up any ground. And if I came at her like, can you give me, or I want to hook in what you got, you're going to step back and be like, don't you got your own stuff? Like, so and I believe that the way that grows is that we do coffee, we talk, it might be some coffee, some dinner, a bunch of times.
Right.
And you slowly get comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
But it's that progression and that patience that I find a lot of people or a lot of women in my age don't have. And
Well, because
5 minutes
living on
into
a
it,
clock.
And that's
Everybody living
more-
on a clock.
but
And that's
that's
a clock
more-
that you can't see.
Well, now
But that's more
we have
attractive.
an instant gratification society.
Yeah.
Everything has to be
Do you
instant.
have anything in that book that tell you how to date?
Well, I don't think that that's the right thing. That's why when
It's
I
got to
asked,
be organic.
when people were asking me, well, why do you think you can write a relationship? You're not an expert. I said, well, you're going to listen to an expert? Who's an expert in relationships?
Right.
Right.
I told him Ayanna Van Zant was getting beat to hell by her husband while she was writing all these
Yeah.
relationship books.
Yeah.
So if she was an expert, why she getting beat to hell?
Yeah.
Then she tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
But she helped a lot of people by writing
Yeah.
her books.
Yeah.
There is no expert.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get it right along the journey
Correct.
as much as we can. That's
I
it.
couldn't agree more with that.
Right. So, what was the other topic? Yeah, I lost, but I got on this one.
Social media and dating and trying
So
to figure
this
out
is
how
the
to
this
do
is the this is the issue with dating now. We all think we so far apart. We've been taught it. So men are from Mars, women are from Venus. What if I told you we all the same? There is no difference between men and women when it comes to dating or relationships.
I don't know
No.
because we're so.
I
I
agree
don't
with
know
that.
because we're so different. Because we
Everybody
are
is
So
different.
different.
We're
So
different.
tell me some of the differences.
Okay, let me
It
think.
is so many.
It's so many. I mean,
No,
Okay,
just tell
but-
me a few. Just rattle
Well,
off a
for
few.
one thing, women don't think like men. We're not thinking about what. For me personally, I would want companionship. I don't really care about the sex and the sleeping
Right.
together. I don't even care about that.
But you
and
have
this-
to. If a man get with you, he should he get sex from you or go down the street
I'm
and
not-
get it from Mary Sue?
right.
That's
But if
not
he's
what I'm
dating you,
saying.
he's gonna want it from you.
Okay,
Instead
I
of
get
going
that.
down the street,
I do get
you
that,
you
but
get that
women
part?
think like that. You're saying, but women think like that.
So you think that's right?
I'm not
That
saying
can't
that
be
I'm right or wrong about it.
No, I'm saying you think that'll sustain a relationship. That's what I'm saying.
No.
Once I get in
Exactly.
a
That
relationship,
it
it's
will
not
not
sustain.
nothing.
Especially when
but-
a guy can open up Instagram and look at booties all day.
Okay, so no.
He's gonna
that's
want
not
some
gonna
booty.
s- Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, I'm just being real with you.
We and
And
this
that's
is
not
a
even
real
the
shit.
that
difference.
has
I'm
to
not-
work.
I understand.
Yeah,
That's
I get
life.
that.
That's
Yeah,
goes
that's
without saying.
Yeah,
Yeah. But we
But-
don't think we
But-
just
but
don't
we don't think
like
I mean,
you
I
are.
don't
We
think
don't
like it's
think
an
like
instant
you
thing
are.
that I need to do it, but I know what I need to do. So I mean, regardless of the fact, we gonna make that part something else.
Right. You take care of your house.
Yeah.
We're gonna say that.
Well,
Yeah,
you
'cause
got
I mean,
to.
because if you
Take
don't,
care of
somebody
your
else
house.
will.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
And-
I'm a firm
But
believer.
I want to
in
hear
that.
some
But
differences.
the problem that I have with that, if we're gonna stick on that, it's plenty of women who take care of their household in that aspect. Put it down.
No, let's
But they
first
still.
let's get to the
oh, but
differences
why we don't
between
want to talk
men
about
and-
that?
No, we can get to that
Okay,
later. I
because
just
they're
don't,
still
I just don't want to go too far from the
because
differences.
that's the difference.
Okay.
Women, more
Well,
men
no,
are
the difference
cheaters
to me, the
than
difference
women.
in
Because y'all said it was plenty. I want y'all to rattle them
It
off real
is.
quick.
well, no,
Men
no.
do this, women don't do that. But
Okay,
rattle them
you
off real
name
quick.
one, you name one. And I can
There
name
it is.
a
Well, the
couple.
difference to me in me and my husband is, oh gosh, really just our ability to where he see. So
It's hard to explain.
I'm kinda- yeah,
It's gonna
it's
be
like
eye to eye.
happen.
You don't be eye to eye.
but
on
you're making my
topics.
point for me. They just we've
And I
been
didn't want to
told
make the point for you.
for the time we were babies that we're so different from each other.
Well, let me say this: we're nurturing too, and not saying that men aren't
He going
nurturing.
nurturing men right here.
Okay,
He called
okay,
his kids. They come
he is.
running because
But
you know
he
why?
is. He's
Because
very
he nurtured his
He
But
is
kids.
all,
very-
That's
he's
why it's so
one of a
different.
kind. He's
No,
one
no,
of
no,
a
no,
kind.
no. There's plenty of men like him.
It's not a
But
lot.
remember this: if you've been told your entire life
you
something,
right, Michael.
you start to believe
And
it.
I ain't want to.
You cannot point a difference out.
Yeah.
Other than the physical is something different. I'm talking
Right.
about inside of a relationship. Just like he said, I wanted a family for me. There's plenty of men like him. And he raised his kids and he was there and he wanted this and he wanted that. Didn't you do all that for your family? And there's women that do the same thing. There is no difference. That we've been taught so many from birth that you are so different from a man, then you try to create a family with a man that you've been taught that you're so different from. And then y'all try to come together. But you've been taught that y'all so different. And then since you've been taught that and while y'all trying to come together, then you start saying, you different. And he started saying, yeah, you different. They told me you was, then you, no, you should, no, you, and then you see what I'm saying? It created a bunch of fallacy.
So really it's the
Friction.
individual. It's just the individual that you're, you know.
It
that
is
you're-
thought processes
Because
that are
mine,
different.
yeah. And
So name them.
And that's right. You know, I keep coming back to the original. You know, how do we come together with the general thing we were focused on? And because everything you're saying is so right. Everybody, like you said, we're different. Everything is so. You're so right. But I think it's the appreciation for that at our mature age. Like when you sit down with somebody, and I know right out the gate, I've been through good relationships, bad. I lost good woman due to me, due to her, because she's different, I'm different. I believe that as we mature and we learn from that, and when two people come together, we should both experience from that, and we should kind of back here and know that, and we have a normal conversation. I'm not so critical. I know right out the gate that she has those differences, or you know, those subtle ways in which women are different. But like you said, we're alike. That's how I get all that. So is it? I ask myself, what?
yes,
That's a good
Yeah.
one,
So
Kim.
I don't want to cut him off.
I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
we gotta get
Let him get it out. I'm gonna address the emotion part. Go ahead and finish. No. All right. Go ahead and finish.
But for me, it just comes down to not to pouncing or jumping on those differences. I'm shifting this a little bit. Like when I have a conversation with any of you, I know there's certain aspects that are female, male, but for the most part, like you said, my ex and I we're both good people that love children. I'll focus there and not so much build up the negatives and the disagreements. And I think if we can do that as we meet and talk, the relationship will be better, stronger, and last longer. You know, and not so much, what do you mean you don't want to come? What, you know, I really like lock on to the different disagreements. It's petty. Most of the times it's minor.
It's all that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
So let me address the emotion.
yeah, hit
Okay.
us. Hit us.
Now, you know you're wrong. Because I can line up 1,000 dudes in this town today that's more emotional than you now, right? And you know I'm right. Am I right?
Yeah, you right.
There's more men are more emotional than women
'Cause
now.
you know what,
Women have
sometimes-
became more tougher than men now.
That's true.
There's no difference. I'm trying to tell you. These things you've been taught so long that, so look, God worked this way. You connect into God, you follow God's why they say, you follow the man of God, everything will be fine. You wake up with the ideal of God, everything will be fine. You know why? Because you have to tell yourself negativity in order for negativity to ruin your life or enter your life.
You right about
So
that.
if you keep saying men like this and men do this and men, well, you just let it enter your life. But if you say I love my black king
And we
I'm
do.
with him,
Yes.
We promote,
then
we put,
you
we-
connected
yes.
to God, and then God,
I
that
agree.
energy flows, and then just like their family was good for a long time until something came in and distracted them. That's all it was. They were good for, because if his kids running over there like that, I could tell he was a good dad, and he's created a good foundation and family for them.
He did.
Something creeped in after a while. It has to be maintained. It's the reason why God said, get up every day. His first thing he say, put your breastplate on. Then put your full armor. So it's a fight every day.
Yes.
Yes, it is. You
And so
right
this is
about
the
that,
problem.
man.
We get lazy.
Yep.
We get complacent.
Yeah.
We get comfortable.
Don't want
If
to
you
put
read
that
the
work
Bible,
in.
the God said, don't never get comfortable. Work every day.
That's right.
Like, God, you want me to put this full armor? If you think back in the kingdom days when they actually had to wear that armor, and I just went down recently to they got the armor displayed in the Cleveland Museum down there, where Way Oval is.
Yeah.
And I'm touching the armor, and I'm like, wow. Just imagine putting that on every day.
Yeah.
But this is what God wants us to do. He wants us to put this on every day. Weed the garden out every day. So we can't miss a beat. Then we miss a beat and we want to blame each other. Well, yeah, men always been like this anyway. And then men say women like this anyway.
So how do we
Start
recognize
pointing.
all that and go back to the original question, come together after? How do you, the kids are gone, how do we get there?
So,
Well, I think,
okay.
first of all, at the end of the day, we always have to do self-examination. We have to look at ourselves in the mirror.
Yes.
Because we so quick to point the finger.
Yes.
We
Yes.
so quick. I know that, me being divorced 2 times, I had something to do with it because I was in both of them.
Right.
So,
Right.
that's
No,
number
right.
Common
one.
denominator.
So we
Right.
have to do self-examination. We have to know who we are and whose we are as a person, just as an individual, and take some, some credit for, not some credit for, but
Just recognize
what
it.
we know,
The part we
what
played.
we did, with the part we played that was wrong, and also, it's okay to be like, I was wrong.
Yeah. And admitting it.
That's healing. When you deny stuff, you're going to keep doing and repeating it.
Right.
And if you can't admit it, you're going to keep doing it. But when you kind of like be like, I was wrong, woe is me, whatever, then maybe you can fix it, or you won't take it into the next relationship.
So
Yeah.
in ending,
Well, that's it. I mean, really, it's just trying to figure out where we're gonna go, how we're gonna get to the next level, how you gonna meet your next, whatever that's going to be. And I think we just need to like really kind of focus on, how we can build ourselves to where we're better for the next person. I think. I don't know where you're going in your relationships, or Butch, where you're going, Roz, Tamika. Hopefully mine will be till we 100.
Man.
Yes, is where I'm trying to go with mine. But my intention here is to kind of give feedback and understand, what I'm trying to do. And I want everybody to understand that. And that's why we decided to have this show, because like you said, it's so many of us out here that are trying to date in this world with, mental illness going on. We dealing with, just so many different things that are equating into this whole little pot thing that we got going on. But I want everybody to come out of that. So I don't know if that really makes a lot of sense, or if you're understanding what I'm saying, but I do. I just want everybody to be happy, and I want you to be able to succeed.
and thank you both for coming on.
Yes.
Appreciate
really
you guys
do.
having me.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate
Thanks for having us. It's a lot of
your
fun.
perspective. It was really fun. We have to do it again.
Can I end with this?
Yes.
Just remember that God put people in your life for a reason.
That's the truth.
That's a reason, people. Then he put people in your life just for a season. Then you have your lifetime people. One of the biggest issues is we get to mix those people up.
Yes.
Remember the 3-card Molly? Yeah, we try to find the dollar. We mix those seasonal people up with lifetime people.
Yes.
And then when somebody asks us on a date that you've been with somebody for a season, that season, if that person just ended, you don't go. You can't get your lifetime person because you're so enthralled with the seasonal people.
Yeah. That's
The
it.
seasonal people just came into your life for that season.
Yeah.
Whether it was to give you those kids and have that period of raising them, or to teach you what you needed, how to grow up. But this is how God set it up. We could say it's not fair, but it's still how God set it up.
That's right. And you can't question that.
Exactly. Just know and have the knowledge that these things exist. You have to keep moving. You can't let fear. See, a lot of us let fear put us in a prison. And then we don't want to move forward in love again. You can't put your heart in a prison. You have to let it be vulnerable again in order to gain love. You have to. just want to.
Thank you.
Well, thank you
you.
so much.
Thank
You
you.
want to thank our sponsor?
I am. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the episode because that was phenomenal for me.
Yes.
I want to thank our sponsors, Dream Creative Complex and Miracles Beauty Salon. And then also, again, thank you guys. Michael Anderson, check out his books. Michael, show your books so that everybody can check that out. Butch, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. And then also just to thank everybody who's supporting us, the Team DOW movement, the 6 o'clock posse on WOVU 95.9 FM. Just want to thank you all so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, blessed week. Be safe. God bless. Peace.
Peace.